a medical doctor from Pakistan, and we are live today in the episode 3 of Positive Virus. And I have with me today esteemed guest and my president, Dr. Hussain Al-Amin. We'll be talking about with these people. First of all, I would like to introduce our chief guest for the session today. He is an esteemed, brilliant Professor Dr. Maheswar Satpathy. He's from India, and he is an expert in global and public health. And I was looking through his LinkedIn, and I was looking through his credentials, and I was unable to give a precision to make them into one sentence. He does a lot of things. He's an associate director at the Center of Excellence in Environment, Climate Change, and Public Health. So his expertise encompasses a lot of areas in public health, social work, and his expertise span not just locally but also globally. So I welcome you, Doctor, into our podcast today, and yeah. And along with him, we have Dr. Hussain Al-Amin. He's the president of Positive Plus Foundation. As we all know, we had a detailed discussion about what he is, who he is, where is he from, and he'll be also moderating the session with me today, along while we interview Dr. Maheshwar. So, Professor Dr. Maheshwar Satpathy, I welcome you to this show, and I would really like you to have some opening remarks about the foundation and about yourself. Thank you.
Okay. Hello. Thank you, Dr. Maidah and Dr. Hussain Al-Amin for inviting me to this particular panel discussion. Uh, uh, Someone is not showing live. I don't know. Yeah, some issue maybe. I don't know. Anyways, a brief introduction of mine. I'm a professor in global health and public policy, and I do a lot of very interdisciplinary work, as Dr. Mehta clearly told. And yeah, I love doing a lot of work with the communities, in the communities, and for the communities in different parts of the world. I work concurrently with different NGOs and civil society sectors, as well as intellectual think tanks and academia. So the topic, so I'm very privileged to be part of this Positive Plus Foundation. Thanks, Dr. Hussain Al-Amin, for giving me this opportunity to be part of Positive Plus Foundation. It's been a wonderful opportunity to be part of this and to get to know what's happening and all the good work that you have been doing. And I'm really feeling very incredibly humble as well as grateful for the opportunity to even consult for the Positive Plus Foundation for the research and development activities that we are undertaking, and we have an ambitious plan for developing a very solid and strong research base to be convened by the Positive Plus Foundation as well as Global Health Forum, of which I am the founder. And we developed this Global Health Forum since 2022, and since then we have been operational. We are also on X platform, which was previously Twitter, and we are going to be very soon live on LinkedIn as well. So you can find us, and we'll soon have our website launched, so you can get to know more about the kind of work we do. We work on communities of practices. We try to help around health system strengthening, capacity building, as well as health systems improvement. So today's topic that is given to me to actually focus on is how to work around global health collaboration and global research collaboration. This is something which we have to work around, and this is something that we have to improve. We are scholars based in the LMICs and lower middle income countries. Many a times the people based in LMICs are being taken for granted and not given the due importance that we actually deserve. And this is the reason why we researchers, young researchers, dedicated, committed researchers based in LMICs, which people nowadays call fashionably as Global South, are working towards. We are very dedicated and committed and working with a mission driven purpose to improve our own research base with with a desire to improve our research activities. And therefore, it's very essential that we need to have a stronger research collaboration, global research collaboration. So we have opened up this particular call for Global South research collaboration, and our vision and mission is to get the leadership of global health in the hands of Global South. So Global South should get the leadership of global health. That's our mission, with which we are working very dedicatedly and in a mission-driven manner. We are working on a work front right now on how to solve all the pressing challenges that our countries and our contexts are faced with, and that cannot be simply made by parachute research. That is done by Western researchers who are based in different Western elitist contexts, who operate with billion-dollar grants, but obviously have very little interest and concern for the people who are located in LMICs and Global South. So therefore, we need global research collaboration from people who are dedicated to all the things that we are faced with, all the health issues in particular, all the developmental issues in particular faced by the people in LMICs. And therefore, we need global South to come together, to join hands so that we can learn from each other. Global South need to exchange information, vital information, as well as research strengths, and we have a lot of strength sitting in different countries. All the LMICs can come together and can do very meaningful and significant impactful work. This is something that we need to work towards. We need to improve this. There are obviously importance of interdisciplinary research and policy integration, and without doing any interdisciplinary work, we cannot actually work towards getting meaningful and policy driven evidence driven policy making. Without evidence generation and insight generation, I don't think we can do any impactful and meaningful work. Therefore, we need to have interdisciplinary research collaboration. People from diverse disciplines need to come together, need to share bread, need to work together, need to do something together without having any sense of animosity or any sense of insecurity or jealousy towards each other. That's the only point, that's the only place where people uh, need to come together and need to work together, without which nothing much can be done. And that is one of the reasons why policy often don't get translated. Why? Because the research doesn't get translated, doesn't get integrated well into the policy landscape, and therefore the effective policy making is not done. And whatever policies are done, they are also not implemented effectively, they're not monitored effectively. Therefore, there is very little result on the ground. Besides that,
Yeah.
there are several challenges that we need to address, and there are solutions that we need to focus on. They can be focused around most of the contemporary issues as well as perennial issues like climate change, environment, and public health research. I'm a dedicated researcher working in this area. I lead a center of excellence in this area. Therefore, my focus lies on climate change and environmental changes and its impact on public health and global health in particular. And I am focused more on the LMICs. Why? Because most of the lopsided policies, development policies that is originated in the West has its impact on the LMICs in particular. Most of the brunt is faced by the LMICs because climate change is happening in a big way, affecting lives and livelihoods in LMICs, and that needs to be tackled very immediately as a climate emergency. And what we are facing today, like since January, you will not believe, we are living in India, it's too hot, and we are literally facing the heat that we generally face during April and May. So
Yeah,
right now in
exactly.
yeah.
Similar is the case with
So
Pakistan. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure that's the same in Bangladesh because it's nearer to the sea,
Yeah.
right? It's humid.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think we just
Exactly.
need to come together because the issues that we face are very similar. The challenges that we face are very similar. Therefore, we can do a lot of things together. That's why this
Yeah.
whole podcast, I think. So thanks for the invitation. I look forward to the panel discussion. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Satpathy, for giving your valuable insight and setting the stage for our topic today, that is unlocking global research potential. This is what we are talking about because we have with us a global research giant who is the champion of collaboration. And I remember in every meeting, Dr. Satpathy is always eager to collaborate, multi-country, elaborate on different kind of background, social, socioeconomic backgrounds, different kind of linguistic, so where he always says wherever we come from, whether the nationalities are, whether our religious or racial sentiments are, our problems are one, and we need to get united. And he always gives the empowerment to youth about the importance of global south, that what the potential do we have as a part of global south, and what we can contribute to the global health, as a productive part of the world and academia. So Dr. Hossain Al-Amin is also with us, and he also shares the similar goals. And I would like to ask him, what kind of research potential do you see in youth? You are youth and you're working with youth, for youth. What potential do you see in research and collaboration globally, where we and everybody else can work upon? And is this even a practical idea?
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Dr. Maida. You know what I am talking every time, that is, a youth engagement in global research is not just important, it is essential. And young researchers bring the fresh perspectives, innovative ideas, a strong drive to challenge existing norms. So everything is possible if youth is into the right line, into the right path, right? So whatever the research has been done, everything has been started by the young generations. And that Dr. Maheswar was talking earlier, that the LMC, the low middle and income countries like Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, especially the South Asia, we have a lot of the resources, we have a lot of the talented students, talented researchers, but unfortunately we couldn't get enough support, not only for the funding, but also the mentorship support, academical support, everything else. Because we have the sample, we have the population, we have a lot of the good institutions, we have a lot of the good brain, but unfortunately all of these are being used by the Western countries or some other countries, and they are using them. And unfortunately what's happened, look, whatever our potential is, everything, every good research has been coming from this Southeast Asia especially. But unfortunately our goal, our outcome is very poor. Whatever our development is not so likely, just like the West or like the East. So young researchers basically bring the fresh perspective that I am talking earlier. And as the Positive Plus Foundations, we are basically providing a platform. And we believe that empowering youth in research can lead to groundbreaking solutions, especially in fields like public health, climate change, and the digital innovation. And our foundation provides the mentorship, research training, like Professor Maheswar and like other lot of the good researchers here, and the international collaboration opportunities to the young scholars and the professionals. And we have already engaging 10 plus countries, and a lot of the international people are engaging already with us, and a lot of the international organization also working with us. So if we go right and build up this platform in the right way, and just like this Positive Plus Foundation, we have already implemented a program, Positive Virus program. If we just like connect the lot of the global experts, encouraging the interdisciplinary research and support knowledge sharing across the border, I think that will be the huge opportunities to developing the research. And not only the research, ultimately it will be converted to the policy making. And what I believe, by creating this network where young minds can thrive, we aim to make research more inclusive, more impactful for the global development. And whatever I talked earlier, that we are not focusing on our country, we would like to focusing on all over the world. Because if global is good, so definitely your country will get the enough support and effort as well. So my suggestions or my recommendation and what we are working together, first of all, we need to change the policy. If we need to change maker, if we need to change the policy, we would like to focus the research. Because if we don't have the research, if we don't have enough information, we couldn't argue with the policymaker. So for my suggestion is, we are bringing a platform, we are connecting all the people. So right now it's turned on the some people who would like to lead this, from the school student to the college student to the university students, and ultimately hopefully we'll get a good result in the near future. Over to Dr. Maida.
Yeah, thank you. Evidence based policy making is most important, because whatever policies that we actually borrow, it is from the West, and their problems are very different from our problems. So that is important. We need to have local solutions for local problems, and this is what the collaboration and the research is for. um, I would like to ask you, Dr. Hussain Al-Amin, that youth youth has a lot of potential, but youth is mostly underguided. So how can youth utilize, if any, there are channels like Positive Plus Foundation. This is one platform that we have where we can collaborate, or the youth can collaborate on the research projects. But what other problems or challenges do you have when it comes to research mobilization and
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr.
yeah.
Maita. I think,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
was asking, how can youth utilize research, global research channels? How can you access it? How to find those opportunities where you can collaborate? Because wants to do a lot of work, but most of the time they're misguided or underguided. What solutions do you have for them
Yeah, I think first of all, they should have to be set
if they
their
want to
mind.
work on research?
Yeah, first of all, mindset is very important. I think Professor Moisher also be agreed with me, because the most of the young generation are mostly focusing on the the social media activity that is really irrational, right? They are mostly focusing on the Facebook reels, lot of the entertainment. Entertainment doesn't give you the ultimate result. So if you wanted to be a good researcher, first of all, mindset should be changed. I see the lot of these students, they wanted to be the good researcher, they wanted to be the global leader. And unfortunately, what's happening, Professor Moisher and Dr. Maida, I see they don't even work voluntarily. They sometimes, I see this lot of the people, they think, if I want work voluntarily, what's the benefit? Is there either any benefit? But if you
Correct.
work voluntarily, but in the programmatic way, you will definitely get a good things. Because I see the lot of the students, they think like, yes, I'm studying a reputed university, I know a lot of the things, I get a very good job. But it's very difficult, Professor Moisher, the job field is very saturated. So
Yes.
everybody has to start it their own by changing their mindset. Either they wanted to be researcher, or they wanted to be the policymaker, or anything else. So I think that is very important, first of all, to change the mindset. And second thing is very important, if you wanted to go for the research, first of all, start from the very basic. And whatever we are planning, that we are mostly focusing on the publication, that I need a lot of the publication, so that I would like to get the scholarship, I have a PhD, and everything I will. But the problem is, if you would like to mostly focus on your career base, unfortunately you didn't change anything else. So if you wanted to change anything else, you need to find out what you wanted to do. Basically, if you wanted to do research, what will be the outcome? Lot of the research around the world is completely go for the garbage, not converted to the policy making. So if you wanted to do some research that will be converted to the policy making, that will be your different mindset. So young generation mindset is very important. So if you have the very good mindset, if you wanted to have the go for the voluntary work, if you have to plan some kind of the work that you want, that will be the globally accepted. And for is definitely connection of the lot of the good researchers. Right now the LinkedIn is a very good platform. That X is also very good platform. But I prefer to connect the good people that give him the very good knowledge and skill. That Professor Moisher, I'm connecting with the Professor Moisher in the LinkedIn, and I'm really learned lot of the things from the Professor Moisher. And he's a very learned person, experienced person, right? He has a degree from a lot of the very reputed university around the world. But he has given us the time. Why? He has a lot of the good work. And even though after the before this meeting, he have done a 3 hours long term session with, I think, in abroad. Why he come and talk with us? Because he believe on me that whatever I am doing, or we are doing, that is right. So if any people who wanted to go for the research, number one, change the mindset. Second was one is do the voluntary work. Third thing is not work only for the paper publication. Do something that will be converted from the paper to the policy. And finally, that I always agree, don't go for the scholarship regularly. scholarship will behind you very soon if you do the right and do right for your country. If you work of your people, definitely you will get in and praised by all of the around the world. So from Positive Plus Foundation, we are generating a platform, and other platform also be there, collaborative platform also be there, networking also be there. So it's really time, just change the mindset and join just people who are really good and who are really want to work the positivity. Over to Maida.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Al-Amin. This was extensive. I will go towards Professor Maheswar again. Sir, you have an extensive experience in global research. How do you see the landscape of the global research as regards to the fields of climate change, environment, and public health? Uh, Currently, in the geopolitical landscape, what potential do you see, and what is it actually?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I mean, like the research landscape, the global research landscape is gradually shifting. There's a lot of impactful work that is being proposed and that is happening. But at the same time, there are lots of challenges, and so it's evolving. But the amount of interest that should be actually shown by the global West, which they call global North, is extremely inadequate. The amount of research, the amount of funding, I think, is inadequate. The policy landscape is completely disconnected from how research is being taken, and a lot of policy making is done very whimsically and often without much foresight. And that actually results in very little implementation, and therefore the loop is disconnected from each other. Research, policy, and its implementation, they are the practice. They are not interconnected to each other at all. Many times legal challenges persist and geopolitical challenges persist. Like for example, currently lots of international aid challenges are also seen. So I think it will take quite a bit of time, for us to consolidate all that information that is taking place right now, because every time it's quite dynamic. The research funding landscape is quite dynamic right now. Many agencies which were funding, like for example USAID and other agencies which are funding the research, have been adversely impacted due to the presidential decision making recently in the US. So we are all eye to everything that is happening. We are closely monitoring it, and there is a lot of challenges, especially for the LMIC researchers who are already deprived of the funding that is available. The funding available in the LMICs for impactful research work is extremely limited in its nature. And if a funding cut happens from the US or other Western countries, it's not just US that is reducing its funding, but it is the UK, the France, and other countries are also doing the same. They are limiting their funding, international aid, in the name of austerity and many other things. And they are reallocating all that fund to defense and other strategic adventures and endeavors. I think we need to be extremely careful about uh, what sort of funding we obtain from different sources. I think it'll take a bit of soul searching as well as brainstorming for the LMICs in particular to become more resilient and become more self reliant. I think it will take a bit of time for us. Also, we need to engage in a soul searching process and more reflexive process on how long do you want to remain dependent on the West for doing the vital work that you need to do to keep your country safe and more healthy. We need to be very
Yeah.
careful about it. It'll take time, and the landscape is shifting. And while I'm being pragmatic and optimistic, I'm also able to see what sort of things are happening. So I will say that we just need to remain steadfast and need to remain united, and hopefully something good will happen if we can work together, on working together as global South. So we, as nations and peoples and individuals and communities from the global South, need to come together to stake and force a very strong brotherhood, a strong bond to work together on the pressing challenges that is faced by our countries in particular. Thank you. I hope
Yeah,
I answered.
yeah, that's Yeah, that's very insightful. And I think Dr. Maheswar and Dr. Al-Amin would agree to this point that now it's the time that we actually engage with the research locally. Because whatever that has been already been done was we were very dependent on the West for funding, for ideas, and what they wanted from us. And as the fundings are being cut down after we see there's a huge political shift in the world. We see geopolitical, I think, an earthquake happening in the health landscape now. I write articles on the same topic, and the countries are also following the bandwagon, as you told. UK and Germany are doing that. So it's going to affect a lot on international health governance, but it also gives us an opportunity as part of LMICs to conduct our own researches, because we have the power of data, we have the power of people. So we better utilize that and turn them into actionable insights. So now my next question would be the similar thing. How can, if you talked about the gap in the policy research implementation, so how can we bridge the gap to convert that research into implementation and actionable insights? What is your take on this?
Okay. I think the gap between the research and policy implementation happens when the policymakers actually are unaware or unconscious about the importance of research. Many times the policymakers are not made aware of the importance of science. The cutting edge science may be happening at different institutions, educational institutions, and other think tanks, but policymakers may not be fully aware of what is happening and its importance. And sensitization of them towards scientific research, academic research is extremely vital in order for all that scientific research to be translated and to be put into the loop of policymaking. Many a times all that research, vital research, is simply lost in the process and lost in translation, because science communication, science policy making, science-based policy making or evidence-based policy making is often not the focus. And I will say many times, without playing the role of blame making, I will not blame anyone. I will just say that many times we academics also fail in our jobs. We do not often interact with policymakers, and that's one of the reasons why policymakers are unable to interact with us. We need to interact more often, and this is the way wherein we can actually communicate all our vital scientific information and all the research findings. Thereby, they will also take science and science as an enterprise very seriously and more professionally, and all that scientific research will eventually be fed into the loop of policy making. And policy, in order for it to be effectively implemented and translated, I think what's extremely vital is um, policy makers and academia and industry, and as well as communities and civil society, they need to come together. Many times they just operate in silos and they talk different languages. They don't often understand each other or try to understand each other. That is one of the biggest challenges, and I think that gap can be filled by just bringing all these people together. We have a very famous concept in psychology, in social psychology in particular. We call it the contact hypothesis. When different groups who have divergent interests and conflicting interests, often at times are brought together, they often get to learn how to work and operate together. I think we are operating in a very divergent world wherein people with different worldviews operate, and in order for them to come together and work together, we need a certain amount of intersecting interest, and we need to all bring them together onto one platform. And the more they are together, I think they will understand each other better and will do something better, and policy making will be directly linked to the science and the cutting edge scientific research in particular. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, that answered beyond my expectations. Thank you. I we have in a pipeline a multi-country study. We are doing it on youth under the supervision of Professor Maheswar Satpathy. We have hundreds of CVs piled up till today, and the response was, I think, exhilarating. We did not expect this, doctor. Remember that this many CVs pouring in. But the very important thing is that it gives us that why and how much youth is does want to be a part of a multi-country or a global collaboration project. And I'm still getting inbox in my LinkedIn where people are interested, they still want to get involved and know what is actually doing. So we still have a call. If you are interested, if you can find that on our page, Positive Plus Foundation, a LinkedIn page, Facebook page. If you want to be a part of it, especially we need people from Indonesia and what other country, Myanmar. If you're hearing this from these areas, kindly join us. Your local insights can be very helpful in shaping the global research, and very important, not just as a discipline, but also what we will eventually implement in the future locally. So I would go towards the end of this discussion, go towards Dr. Hossain and Al-Amin.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Professor Mosh, I think I have a direct question to you. I think Maidah have some internet connectivity problem.
Yeah, I am
That
here.
Okay.
I am here.
okay, yeah, okay,
Oh,
okay, sure.
Yeah, some LMIC's problems. Pardon me, everybody. It happens when you live in the global south, so we have to deal with such issues. I would go towards Dr. Hussain, a last question, and then we'll go towards the audience question and answer. What potential do you see in 5 years as Positive Plus Foundation in research and innovation, a global project? Where do you see yourself and the organization?
Basically, I would like to really connect with Professor Moisture that I want that LMCI or low middle income country, like especially for the South Asia, will lead the world, because the most of the people, most of the students that we have planned to go for the scholarship in USA, UK, Australia. Why? Because they are a very good lifestyle, lot of the good salary, and everything is very right. And we own our country, but unfortunately we didn't want to leave our country. So I want, from not maybe for the next 5 years it's not possible, but at least it will be in the process that people will try to be, remaining in their country, do something for their own, do some good research. Maybe a lot of the UK US students will come to Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Bhutan to read and make some research projects as well, because the lot of the research product has been done by the these countries people, because here data is very easy to collect. Dr. Maida, if you go any Pakistan village, you will get any information. Professor Marshall, if you go to any village of India, if you just mention there what is your name, even though they will share their name, age, sex, everything else. In Bangladesh, that is also be true. So data is the future, and the future is remaining in the South Asia, because our people will be very, they are very friendly, they are very easy to going. So in the next 5 years, we envision that Positive Plus Foundations as a global leader in youth drive-in research and innovation. And our key goal is basically establishing an international research hub where young researchers can collaborate on interdisciplinary projects. We would like to launching an open access academic journal gradually to publish the research from emerging scholars. We have already developing our e-learning platform. So by the platform, we would like to expanding our mentorship and training program to support the thousand to millions of the young professionals. And we are strengthening the global partnership to drive the impactful research in public health, climate change, health innovation, and technology, and others as well. So by continuously fostering the strong research ecosystem, we believe and we aim to empower young researchers and make a tangible impact in the global development, and wanted to be the leader of the world. I believe that South Asia will be the leader of the world one day.
definitely.
Thank you. This is the power of positivity. You're sitting in different countries, but your goals are united. You want to unite
Yeah.
the world. Truly, a very positive person can envision that. I thank you all.
I
And
just
if we
wanted
have
to
any
I
questions
just
from
wanted
the,
to say
yeah,
one thing. I just wanted to say
yes,
one
Dr.
thing. It's quite visionary of Dr. Hussain Al-Amin to bring India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh together on one platform, literally,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
discuss
Exactly.
about the pressing issues that we are faced with and what all we can do together as South Asia, united South Asia.
Yeah.
and especially, and also South Asia taking up the leadership, global South taking up the leadership in global health and development arena, and playing a major and vital role. And for that to happen, we have to work together as one. Without working together as one, we cannot do anything. We have to rise above everything, and we have to work on as one humanity, as one root, as one individual, one entity, and that's the only way we can work together. And if global South can come together, I think we can achieve a lot more than we can ever imagine right now, and that's the future. So global South is the future, with which this is the thought that I would like to leave with everyone. Global South is the future. Please invest in global South, in us, in individuals, in the future, and let's work together. Let's get to work together. Let's get to learn from each other. Let's hold each other's hand up. Let's lift each other up without acting just as isolated geographies or context. I think the future belongs to global South, and the future of global health belongs to global South. And we need to take up the leadership by showing and demonstrating that we are capable of leading it. And that's only possible when we are together. Together, we are better. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Yeah. So this was Dr. Professor Maheshwar Satpathy with us. We had an enlightening discussion with him today. Along with him, Dr. Hussain Al-Amin, champion of positivity. And his the motto is let the change begin with me. You were listening to Dr. Maidah Hussain, Lahore, Pakistan. And I thank you all for the audience, for the panelists that we had today. I especially want to thank our the people who commented, Emmanuel from South Korea, and Chandan Soni, who was listening from Pune, India. Thank you so much for being the part of an incredible audience today. This was episode 3 of Positive Virus. We will be live again next time. Till then, take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Take care.
You can end